The Lantern of the Cedar Valley, a timeless Islamic love story from 1823 America. The dawn mist drifted low over the hills of Tennessee, soft as breath against the sleeping earth. It was the year 1823, when the world still spoke in whispers of horses' hooves and candlelight, and when belief shaped the rhythm of a person's days. In a quiet town called Willow Bend, where the cedar trees guarded every road like sentinels, lived a young woman named Clara Bennett. She was known for her kindness, her quiet step, and the way she would pause to watch the morning sun slip through the church windows. Her father, Captain Thomas Bennett, a retired soldier, carried his faith like a weapon, sharp, unyielding, and heavy. He had seen too many wars to believe that peace was anything more than an illusion. To him, order was godliness, and doubt was danger. But Clara, gentle, curious Clara, felt a stirring in her heart that the sermons could not fill. Every Sunday she sat in the pews, listening to her father's pastor thunder about sin and salvation, and yet she felt something missing, like a door half open to a room filled with light she could not reach. The stranger in the valley. One evening, as she carried a basket of herbs toward the cedar grove, Clara noticed smoke rising from the edge of the valley. There, beneath the trees, stood a man with dark hair tied back, repairing the wheel of a wagon. His hands were strong but patient, his movements quiet as prayer. He noticed her watching and smiled with a calm grace. "Good evening," he said, his accent soft and strange. Clara hesitated, clutching her basket. "You are not from here." He shook his head. "No. My name is Yusuf ibn Karim. I traveled from the port at Charleston. I make lanterns for ships and travelers, light for those who lose their way." The way he said light made her heart still for a moment. She offered him water, and he accepted with gratitude, bowing slightly, not the stiff, formal nods of her people, but a gesture that seemed born of humility. The lantern and the light. Days passed, and Clara found herself walking the valley paths more often. Yusuf was still there, building his lanterns, polishing glass until it shimmered like dawn. He told her of the lands he had crossed, the deserts, the mosques that rose like white birds against the sky, the call to prayer that echoed through quiet towns. He spoke of Islam, not as a doctrine, but as a way of remembering God in every breath. Once she asked him, "Why do you light so many lanterns, Yusuf?" He smiled gently. "Because every heart is a lantern. Some are cracked, some forgotten, but when the flame of faith enters, even broken glass can glow." Those words stayed with her through the nights. She began to see the world differently, not divided between nations or churches, but united beneath one heaven. The storm of whisper. Rumors began to coil through Willow Bend. The captain's daughter speaks to a foreigner. He prays to the east, they said. Her father's anger struck like thunder. "You will not speak to that man again. His faith is false, and his kind do not belong here," he ordered. But Clara, night could not sleep. The words Yusuf had spoken about light, mercy, and remembrance echoed louder than her father's fury. The next morning, she went to the cedar grove. Rain had started to fall. Yusuf stood beneath the tree, his cloak dark with water. "I should not be here," she said, trembling. He looked at her, eyes calm. "Then why are you here?" She could not answer. Only silence filled the air until he spoke again, softly. Clara, love is not chains. It is a mirror. It shows you what your soul seeks most. Then, from his pocket, he took a small lantern, its glass carved with Arabic script. It says An-Nur, he said. It means the light. May it guide you, even when I cannot. The years of patience. When Yusuf left Willow Bend, Clara felt as though a chapter had closed in her soul. But instead of fading, his words grew like roots in her heart. She began to study the languages of the East, to read about his faith, to understand the meaning of sabr, patience, and tawakkul, trust in God. Months turned into years. Her father passed, and the church bell grew silent. But in her quiet home, the small lantern Yusuf had given her still glowed each night. One spring morning, beneath the same cedar grove, Clara whispered words that felt like coming home. La ilaha illallah, Muhammadur Rasulullah. There is no God but God, and Muhammad is his messenger. The breeze carried her voice, and the trees